Welcome to the Emo Social Club podcast, broadcasting to you live from emosocialclub.tv. I am Brian.
And I'm Lizzie, and we're here this evening with our new friend of the pod, Dan Lambton of RATIONALE. Thanks so much for coming on and hanging out with us.
No, thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
Yeah, we gotten the clearance. So you are also formerly of Real Friends. You have formed this new band in 2014.
Yeah, so not exactly new.
Yeah, it's like, wait, how did you form this band in 2014? But it's like we're just like doing your second album now, I guess.
Well, because we didn't do a good job at promoting it before.
That'll do it. Yeah. What was like the timing of forming it? And I guess you can introduce the other guys too, and tell us about the new record.
Yeah, so it's with Joe Taylor, who sings in Knuckle Puck, Ryan Rumchaks, who plays bass in Knuckle Puck, and then sings and plays guitar in Home Safe. True freak, does everything. Got a band for every single instrument he plays. It's frustrating. But it was just something where like Joe and I had met through like the music scene and stuff, like early on in like the Real Friends Knuckle Puck days. Like I was a fan of their band before I actually knew any of them, and then we became Facebook friends, realized that we were all like in the same area in the south suburbs and stuff, started hanging out, and then just got to a point where we were just hanging out so much, just like, yo, why don't we also work on some music together? And here we are.
So it's kind of like formation of like kind of like a super group in a way, a like super group of pop punk in Chicago.
Sure, yeah, I'll take it.
South Suburb Supergroup.
Yeah.
SSSG. Something. I tried to make an acronym out of it, but it didn't really make any sense. You are also a Twitch streamer. I guess we can start there a little bit. So you've been streaming on Twitch since how long? Because I know it's been a while.
Let me check. It's tied to when Bloodborne came out. That was the first game I ever streamed. So I want to say 2015. It was either 2015 or 2016.
Okay.
So I've been doing it for a hot minute, and my first stream was on accident. Because I was at because for a little bit I would stream from like my ex's place because she had like really fast internet. So I was like fiddling around with my PS4 because I'd stream directly from there. This was before I had a gaming PC. And then like I was trying to like mess with some of the share settings on PS4 and then like do like a test run stream and just like watch it on my phone and like see how everything was, before I would like want people to be there. And then one thing I overlooked was that it automatically will like push to Twitter because I guess I had my Twitter linked to my PlayStation.
Yeah.
And then people started coming in and I was like, oh shit. Like you weren't supposed to see this yet. So we rolled with it. I streamed for like a half hour and then I was like, we'll do this when I know what's going on.
Has it mostly just been gaming stuff or have you done music stuff or?
I've done some music stuff. Once I got like the right hardware and stuff, I'm not really too fluent in like stuff like voice meter, which is a little bit complex with like digital audio rerouting and stuff. So I've just got like an interface that has a loop back in it. So I'm able to do all that through OBS and have like my recording software live monitor instruments and stuff. So I've done like covers, I've done RATIONALE songs, just making up like a bunch of different set lists, playing guitar and bass, and then some karaoke of random songs. Did the Pokemon theme song one day.
Hell yeah.
And then I've been doing a lot of art lately too. Just like doing like some pencil sketches and stuff, but then, a good chunk of it is gaming as well.
Very nice. We have been trying to do gaming and I'm just like, I really don't want to play Rock Band this often because everybody makes fun of me for not doing good at Rock Band.
It's hard.
It's
when you
difficult.
go into certain levels, you're just like, can't do it. No more.
I'm an expert, okay? I'm an expert. And then you play Slipknot and you're like, the fuck?
Listen,
how am I supposed to hit all these notes?
Dragon Force 5, Guitar Hero, come on, you got to dig deep back into your roots.
It is not Dragon Force 5. However, it's Family Force 5 meets Dragon Force. Go. And we're about to make that remix. Somebody write it down. We're making a remix of Family Force 5 and Dragon Force.
Oh, damn. There was actually, back when Rock Band first came out, a couple of my friends and I did the like entire set list in like one sitting. Whoa. And it was grueling. And we had 4 people, and then they just made me sing it the whole time. To where once we got to the end of the set, and this was like before Real Friends or anything, they were just like, Dan, you're gonna sing it. And it got to the point where I wasn't even like actually singing. I was just trying to be like, and just like hit the notes, and that's it. Like my voice just got so fatigued. Yep. You know, that there was just like moans at one point. Or groans, like, I guess I should say.
It's just that's the way like the game rewards you. So like you learn it, like I'm sitting there like doing like a falsetto and I'm just like, and you're like, oh, I'm getting like perfects on everything. So I'm just going to keep doing that. So there I am live on the internet playing. I was doing like playing guitar and singing on some songs. So I was like, this is easy enough. And then I was like doing that and everybody's like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you singing like that? And I was like, because I'm winning. I want to get 100%.
I'm winning.
I'm not here to sound good.
Get the points.
Yeah. This is how we win.
This is how we win. I've also been playing Metal Gear Solid 3, which apparently I'm terrible at. I'm just awful at that game. And I remember like as a kid, like having this nostalgia for the Metal Gear series and being like, yeah, I love this game. I play it all the time. I'm so good. And then it's like, why am I literally getting caught by every single guard on this map?
Because stealth games are hard.
Yeah. I also found that like video games, as we have aged, this is mostly Pokemon based, but I have found like other games kind of are the same way. They just got so easy because they were made for baby children, kids. And like, how am I want a difficult Pokemon game. And they're like, no, you can't have that. There's no such thing as a difficult Pokemon game. This is made for babies.
Well, I mean, I think that there's some games that are a little harder than others, or at least like, you know, they throw new Pokemon in the mix where you kind of got to like figure everything out. There's some stuff I feel like that they've streamlined. Like once you've encountered a Pokemon in like Sword and Shield, it'll tell you what type and like what it's weak against and stuff. But what a lot of people are crying about right now is the experience share, saying that that's like easy mode and stuff. And you don't have to like grind or anything. Yep. I'm personally kind of whatever on it. I try to avoid the grind, but then in some cases it does make the game easier. But what are you gonna do?
I mean, yeah, I'm like, your target audience is children. Like you're not gonna want like playing through the first game and like struggling through it as a child. Though I was like, I'm built different now. I'm ready for Pokemon through the rest of my life. Yeah,
100% builds character.
Yeah, that challenge takes you through the games, and then you get to Sword and Shield, and you're like, man, I don't want to do this. Like this is lame. You know, it's like it was a slog to get through Sword and Shield. Whereas I thought like Sun and Moon were great. I had a great time playing Sun and Moon, and I'm like, this is a little bit easier, but it's not like that same like just here you go, have your Pokemon survived with 1 health. Oh, look at that. Now you didn't die. Now you win. Cool. It's like, but I want let me lose that Pokemon. It's fine.
Listen, the counterpart to Pokemon that had the hardest video game, maybe this was me as a kid and not figuring it out, is the Neopets game.
No, that game was abusive. That game was
I remember getting stuck at this like medieval level, and I'm like, how do I get out of here? Where the fuck am I going? Why can't I figure this out? And I tried to replay it, I think when I was in high school, like late high school. And I'm like, I still cannot figure this out. I'm scared to go back.
Neopets inflicted trauma. I believe this. Like, I went from Tamagotchi to Neopets, and I'm like, no, this is awful. I didn't get anything.
Do your pets die in Neopets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's like you can't get food to feed them, or you can't get stuff to like.
It's literally like, hey, you're a parent now to the Neopets.
Do they have like pay to win microtransactions?
That's actually, I don't remember. I don't think they did.
I think it was
just real world money for
no, I think food. I think it was too early for that. Yeah. I think it was more of like you have to go around and like play games or do something, but you can only like earn so much money per day.
Okay.
And then it dies.
Early capitalism, everybody. Yeah.
Neopets taught us capitalism.
Got to start somewhere.
And that's where the trauma came from.
Baby's first capitalism.
How often do you stream, by the way?
I'll stream like usually lately it's been like 3 days a week. I'm testing the waters with 4.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the sweet spot for me.
Is it just from like having time to do other stuff? I guess you're probably not doing like 8-hour streams a day.
No, I mean, I usually keep around like 3 or 4 hours. Nothing too crazy.
Mm. And it wasn't like, was there more streams during the pandemic? Was it more like I'm trying stuff out during the pandemic, or was it like kind of just the same consistent sort of?
I mean, I think at first it was definitely a lot more streaming, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but my memory shot through the pandemic. Time is meaningless because of it.
Yeah. It's completely fake.
But that's when the pandemic got me like experimenting with like doing art and drawing on stream, and like trying to get the gear to make it possible to do that, because I've got another camera like right up here attached to a shelf and stuff to point down. You know, it gave me the freedom to, you know, have a little bit more time to like experiment with that stuff and like do the research, I would say. Definitely.
Yeah. That's good.
What kind of like
sorry, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, like, what kind of propelled you to shift a little bit more to like art and like actually like showing more of your like drawings and work in that sort of retrospect?
I mean, I drew a lot when I was a kid, and on tour I would start drawing like a little bit with real friends, and then because it would always be like Brian doing a lot of art stuff, like he'd decorate drum heads and stuff for like particular shows, and we'd raffle them off at merch and stuff like that. And then that kind of like jump started me to wanting to like draw like a little bit here and there. And then I put it down for like a year and then just wanted to like get back to it, because I spent a little bit of money on like some sketch pads and mechanical pencils and stuff like that. So I wanted to just, you know, try to use it. I had it. You know, if it doesn't end up working out, like no harm, no foul.
True. I do think during the pandemic, like my first thought was like, oh yeah, art. Like I can use that for like some, like I'm alone in my home and like I have nothing to do. I can't go anywhere. I'm going to like find something therapeutic, which for me was video games on my own time. But yeah, I can also see like just need to like try something different and do something that isn't just the same thing over and over and over again, and like get my brain working in different ways.
Oh, definitely. No, I feel that 100%.
Now we could talk a little bit about your new album that's out, If the Problem Persists. This was kind of what it said in the presser, was this is more like lyrically meta. And I just wanted to get a little bit more into that, because I feel like we don't usually use the word meta in always like a positive light. So how was that kind of piecing everything together?
I mean, it was great to have the time. You know, I don't think that this record would be possible without the pandemic. Just because like we all three of us had like wildly different schedules to juggle all the time with Real Friends, Knuckle Puck, and Home Safe. So with this, like nobody was doing anything. So I would just like go to Joe's house, and we had a couple songs that we've been sitting on for a little bit. Like one of the songs on it, Incentive, we had started, like that was one of the first songs we ever worked on, like as a band back in 2014, at least instrumentally. And we just had the time to finish some of these songs and then also come up with stuff from scratch. Or at least for me, like it takes me a long time to put together instrumentals. So to be able to have access to, or more access to Joe and stuff, and have him kind of help steer me in the right direction and say like, oh, this is good, let's keep on this line, in this lane, you know, et cetera. You know, having more of a guide in that fashion definitely helped to crank out music a lot quicker. And then we had Joe also engineering everything, so we were able to save a ton of money doing that as well.
Really the best.
But yeah, it's just, you know, we had the time to do it, so we figured why not do it. So
it was kind of like this, I mean, I don't want to say a comeback, like we were kind of talking before, you know, Brian was asking, oh, is this like a newer band? And it's like, no, it's been around for a while. So this was kind of like that time for you to leap back into like the music field.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, because between our first 2 releases, Confines and You Are Flawed, there was like a 4-year gap there. Just because, you know, we were all on like wildly different like touring schedules and stuff. So stuff just came around like a lot slower. But this, you know, it's only been 2 years since the last release, and we were able to do like, because we'd never like rolled out stuff with singles before. For the most part, it'd be like, oh, 1 song's dropping, and then like a week later, we're gonna give you everything. Just kind of like almost a set it and forget it type thing, unfortunately, just because like we were so much busy with so much other stuff, but we were able to finally sit down, like give it the attention. And I mean, it was recorded over 2 sessions also. Originally it was going to be 4 songs. And then we had a couple others in the oven. We were just like, screw it. Like, let's finish these other songs. We've got the time. And, you know, then we did that and we were able to mostly put out the first couple songs that we had already done, recorded, mixed, mastered, all that. And then in that time, we then went in and got the other 4 together.
23 minutes. I love that. 8 tracks for 23 minutes. Like, I'm looking at that and I go, that is the correct length of a record.
Yeah, I think it was the guitar player System of a Down that said he doesn't have time for any records that are more than a half hour long. Mm-hmm. I feel like that to an extent had stuck with me, but like I'm definitely into like a bunch of albums that are very long, you know, like The Cure, Disintegration. I don't know what the exact runtime on that record is, but I know it's a very long record. Oh, yeah. And that's one of my favorites. But I feel like generally, like with Rationale and with Real Friends stuff I've been a part of, like I don't think we ever really had too lengthy of records. And I know that like with Composure, we wanted to definitely keep it way shorter, and like 10 was the cutoff. Like we're not doing any more, any less. 10 bare minimum. We're just going to try to make them all bangers, you know, and not spend energy that could be better spent elsewhere, you know.
Agreed.
Bangers only.
Bangers only. You know, that's my dating website.
Wow, that's.
Whoa. I was thinking farmers only and OnlyFans, and then I'm like bangers only, and I'm like, that's the.
Are we trying to make crazy apps again here on the Twitch stream, because we couldn't even formulate the one?
Yeah, bangers only. It sounds like an equally horny website.
Exactly. So. I think the point is, like, you know, challenge somebody when they hear about it. Challenge Apple to like consider it on their app store. God. Challenge customers. Challenge people to put it in their link trees. You know, it's about the challenge of bangers only.
Wait, you're putting the dating app in your link tree.
I'm putting it in our link tree, Lizzie.
I don't know if I like that at all.
Bangers only. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's not a good one. Anyway, I do think like a lot of songs I've been listening to lately, and as a songwriter, maybe you'll feel differently about this, but like doing like a very catchy verse, a very catchy chorus, and skipping a bridge entirely works for me almost 100% of the time. Like you just don't need that bridge, and you can keep the song short. You can keep it strong. And then it's just like, cool, that was a great song. Moving on to the next one.
Yeah, I think it depends, because like with at least our first release and then like a bunch of earlier Real Friends stuff, it was never like too, like, for lack of a better term, like copy paste verses. Like we always had like first and second verse would be completely different instrumental and completely different melodies and stuff. So with the bridge added in there, it's essentially just it kind of to an extent just makes the bridge a third verse, if that makes sense, you know, instead of it being more of a culmination or like I don't know what word I'm going
like the
for.
Sort of like C section. That's not a good word for it, but it is like it's the A, B, and then C, and then back to B or something like that. Like that's how it would be. But of course, saying C section is like, that's a different term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we had A, B, C, and D. That's what we had all those different parts.
Yeah, exactly. Or like a guitar solo bridge, which I was listening to a podcast about Guns N' Roses today, and now I'm like, okay, bunch of Slash solos, Axl verses and choruses. I'm like, so the bridge is just a guitar solo, or you have a 10-minute song that's just like random nonsense on Use Your Illusion 1 and or 2. It's like, but I don't mind that we've like gotten to like shorter songs, shorter records. Like, I mean, not commenting on anyone's appearance in Guns N' Roses, but it did start to feel a little bloated.
Whoa. Oh my God.
It's not their appearance.
Brian,
That's not their appearance. It's not their appearance. It has only to do with the songs, the records, like how much was going on, how much they were throwing at it.
Tonight, we're gonna have like some boomers come through the chat because they're gonna hear that bat signal go up. They're like, I have to defend these.
Be like, someone's making fun of Guns N' Roses. I'm not gonna let that happen.
Hot takes.
I'm fine with hot takes about Guns N' Roses. They made their money. They're still touring. You're fine. You're gonna be fine. But yeah, I think that like. It's kind of like that classic rock versus like new stuff. And it's like, that's what they used to do. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to do like shorter shit, less guitar, like being the focus, more vocals being the focus, more melody and catchy choruses, catchy verses, and just like make it more of like a sing along, like, yeah, shorter, sweeter, better, stronger Daft Punk.
Harder, faster, better, stronger.
Hell yeah. And I feel like bands nowadays, if they're not focused, if they have like more instrumental, I guess breaks, there's definitely more of an attention to the overall atmosphere and like using like making like really cool uses of effects and like making this, like filling out the scenery more and having like a lot of really cool stuff going on, like when the vocals aren't there, or even if they are there, you know, like there's this band, Mini Trees I've been listening to a bunch that just put out a record on Run for Cover where they, you know, hit the nail on the head, making all these cool atmospheres and textures within the music, like, and then just super catchy vocals and stuff too. And giving it all like, you know, kind of that, just giving it all like firing on all cylinders. Those are the words I'm looking for. That's the phrase.
Yeah. I see the value there. Yeah, I absolutely. You put music, like if it builds to a better thing, all about it. If it's just guitar wankery, I have no time for that.
Guitar wankery.
Dude, okay. If you, Lizzie, I am constantly texting Lizzie about like the members of the band that I'm in, and one of them listens to the pod. He is not one of the instrumentalists. He's another vocalist. So that's fine. You can bring this back. I'll tell him to their face too, by the way. It's like, oh, but like the bass part on this song isn't that much fun. And it's like, no one cares. No one cares about how cool or not cool the bass part is, except for like people who play string instruments or people who like care about music in that way. Most people are worried about the vocals. Most people are worried about, is the song catchy, and is the band like performing at like top level? Are they having fun? Are we having fun?
Oh yeah. And sometimes I've seen people, you know, like absolutely destroy it on stage, like left nothing up there, or everything up there. I don't know what that, my phrases
disseminated.
Leave it on the stage. Yeah.
And
take it off the stage.
They absolutely crushed it. And then if the crowd interaction wasn't to their liking, then it's just a complete and utter fucking failure. And that's it. It's a shame, you know, that sometimes, you know, just playing well isn't enough, unfortunately, in some people's eyes. I hate that, you know?
Yeah. It's
definitely like, I feel a big toll on somebody's like mindset when it comes to being in bands. And I can definitely understand if that's why, you know, either bands disband or people go solo because they say, hey, I'm not getting the audience reaction that I want to this caliper. But it's also, how do you understand where that caliper is and who are you comparing yourself to?
Exactly. And we've got all sorts of distractions and ways to compare ourselves to others, especially with like social media now, you know, it's like, it's inevitable, unfortunately.
I mean, that's why like the whole FB whistleblower thing, they dropped all these like different studies and everything. And now we're like, oh, no. Yikes. It just reformats everything.
Okay, I didn't look through any of the whistleblower stuff. I'm already on like the Facebook hate train. So it's like,
as everybody should be.
Yeah.
Anything else is now it's just like, well, what do you expect?
Yeah. They were, I don't know if you had heard this part, but they basically said like Instagram is a known thing that it is hurting young women, especially their self-esteem. And it's like making them have more mental health issues, more driven towards, suicide and those kinds of things. And it's like, okay, cool. That was an internal investigation at Facebook. And they said, yeah, we'll just go ahead and, consider that, file that away and just keep thinking about it.
I believe it was about 17% was found to have caused eating disorders in young women. And they said, let's keep going, guys. Let's keep rolling out the detox tea ads. And it's like, okay, this is terrible.
Good God. Yeah, no, that is awful. On one hand, shocked. On the other hand, like not surprised. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I think for like a musician, if you're comparing yourself, because I and maybe being that you're also a Chicago suburb person, maybe you've seen this in the Chicago scene, maybe not as much recently though. Just like that kind of competition between bands and like you're playing a show and you're like, well, they brought this many people, but we play better, or we are, we have a better music than they do. And it's like, guys, just, it doesn't matter.
I don't got time for that. I luckily, I thankfully do not see any of that. But those people are just acting a fucking fool.
Did you ever have people like when you were coming up, like be really shitty at the local shows? I'm assuming you played like Penny Road Pub is the one I have in mind. Yeah. Where I'm like, you play Penny Road Pub and like every other band in the basement is like just standing side stage next to their gear, just like, when's it my turn to play? And then they go up on stage and then they're worse than you were.
No, I don't know. Like, I don't remember any sort of like competitive stuff like that. I guess like pissing contests and whatnot. No, I mean, I feel like the people we came up with for the most part were all generally amicable people. If that's a properly applying adjective, I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Words are hard tonight. Sorry.
It's okay.
They're hard all the time.
It's been a real rough week for everybody. I feel like Mercury's still in Gatorade or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man, somebody should stop giving Gatorade to Mercury or whatever.
Yeah.
They're giving them the purple one too, which is the worst.
No, lemon lime. That's where it's at.
Okay. Why would you even get anything but blue? Like, what are we even talking about lime. Here? Blue.
What? You like Danny DeVito? Got to have more blue?
Gotta have more blue.
Listen, the fruit punch one's pretty decent.
We are about to get into it.
I like fruit punch. Everybody. I like orange. I like lemon lime. Those are my vibes.
Everybody in the chat vote for which is the superior Gatorade.
If you're listening to this episode of the podcast, go on our Twitter and respond with your favorite Gatorade tag.
Honestly, if it's not cucumber, I'll drink it.
Cucumber is very gross in general.
Is that
as like
a flavor
and as like a cucumber in general. Cucumbers are gross.
Oof. Why would they make cucumber Gatorade?
Because they want you to be fancy, like cucumber water when you go to like a spa.
There are people in the world who they can take advantage of that can't taste things properly. So.
Like, if it's all sugar, like, I guess, like, okay, putting a cucumber flavoring in a Gatorade is like putting, like, cucumber effing, cucumber vodka. Like, it's just basically like a fake flavor that you're throwing in there. And it's like, think of cucumber when you're drinking this, and it will definitely taste like cucumber. But, like, I just would throw cucumbers in water if I wanted that.
But are you going to go to the store, buy a whole ass cucumber, use that whole ass cucumber, Lizzie, cut it up, and then put it in water?
Quick question, Lizzie. No. How much do you think a cucumber costs?
It's not that much, but that's a lot to do.
How much can a banana cost? Like $10?
Well, but also, are you doing it by the glass, or are you making like a whole jug of it?
It depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, make a pitcher. Get that. If you got other people that live with you, then it's like, hey, I put some cucumber water in the fridge, and they go, hell yeah, dude. And then you're just like, you're good with your roommates, you're good with your family, you're good with your friends. Just a good person overall.
But what if just everybody hates cucumber and it's literally just you drinking your
but what if you show up with cucumber Gatorade and everybody's like, does he hate me?
I would bully somebody.
Do I live with the worst human being known to man? Like sending pictures to your friends, like, check out what the fucking guy put in our fucking fridge. Look at this fucking cucumber.
Now, how about we split the difference? What flavor of Gatorade would you let sit around with some cucumbers in it?
Blue.
To make a true just blue. Oh.
I think blue.
Oh, you're not even switching it up. Okay.
I know there's no correct answer to this, but
yeah.
I think like the white Gatorade, because that's like a weird white cherry. I mean, either way,
that could work. I mean, you could do lemon lime too. I think lemon lime with cucumber could work.
Don't do that to my favorite flavor.
Don't disgrace lemon lime like this in my Christian Minecraft stream.
Exactly. This is God's house.
This is God's.
When you were saying that it wasn't happening with the talking shit in your community, it got me thinking, like, did I have a terrible community? And then Maybe. It got me to thinking.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Did I create a terrible community?
You're literally.
Tell me now. I'll tell you.
You're literally the TikTok sound as, am I the drama? I can't be the drama. Am I the drama? You are, Brian, probably.
I probably am. When I was in the band, I was already in Chicago, but we were mostly playing like Penny Road Pub, like so north suburbs, Palatine. Where else did we play?
That's not the suburbs. That's too far.
Palatine's on the far. It's like you can see Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in Des Plaines though, so that's where, like, I mean, more bands are from there now than they were when I was living there. There's like nobody there but the Gex Tree.
Yeah, Gex Tree only.
What is that?
The 100 Gex album cover for their most recent album is of the tree in Des Plaines for some weird reason, and people were making pilgrimages to there, and then like leaving the police tokens. Started like being like, you cannot do this. Please stop.
You can't just keep hanging out at this tree. And it's like,
I absolutely can. First of all, I can do what I want. The Gex said so.
Gex said so.
People would do that with one of the Real Friends album art covers we took of a house in Indiana that people would just go to. And I feel like if I was the owner of that home with like random people coming up taking pictures of my home, kind of like the Breaking Bad house where people, this is one step further, but people would go and like throw pizzas on top of the garage of the Breaking Bad house.
What?
Like, that's disrespectful.
That's rude.
Yeah.
What about the American football house? Did anyone ever do anything with that house, or are they just taking pictures in the angle too?
Oh, I'm sure people would go and take pictures with the angle and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is in a college town, so it is rentable to college students. So you know what? They're on a different level.
They find the right person, the rent increases like threefold, I'm sure.
Oh my!
They find an emo kid, they're charging up the wazoo.
They literally ask in the renter application, do you like Midwest emo? Check yes or nah. That's it.
Do you recognize this riff?
Exactly.
Do you like twinkly emo tunes?
It'd be hard. I'd be like, yes. Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Okay, we can ask more questions about music. Lizzie, go ahead.
Wow.
You had a question.
So you have obviously, as we kind of been revolving around some of the conversation here, you've been a very big advocate about mental health, your own mental health, and also have been very proactive with a lot of charities as well. But how has this influenced your writing with this most recent album, especially during a time where a lot of us have had a lot more feelings and different things that we have been processing and going through?
Yeah. It ebbs and flows for me. Like there are times where I get more on the manic side of things with living with bipolar, where the creativity pours out of me, and I'm able to write stuff super quick. That was a big thing with composure, was that it was like, I was killing it in the studio, just whipping out lyrics and having vocal melodies like come to me like that super quick, but then it's like super destructive in my personal life and everything. But then if I'm like more into like a depressive episode, like nothing's coming out of me. I'm very like just low energy, not want to go out. Like, so it's I mean, I feel like I do draw from both ends of that spectrum. But I guess musically comes from mania, and then with the depression, I would say comes more of the lyrical side of it, if I can split it into like that duality.
Yeah. Interesting. Cause yeah, I'm like, I feel like in the same way, it's like, okay, I'm going to get shit together. I'm going to get rolling and I'm going to get everything together. And then you're just like, everything just falls out of you and you're like, I don't give a shit anymore. And it's like to stay kind of like in the middle, I guess, or like, yeah, you're like using like the benefits, I guess, to say it in probably not the best way, but like you're using the benefits of what you're doing in those two different modes to like stay with it and stay like kind of, I don't know, feeling better or feeling more middle, feeling more medium, I guess.
Yeah. Just kind of, and this isn't going to be putting it correctly either, but I guess just, well, not taking advantage of the situation, but making best of where my head's at in that particular moment in time, I would say.
Much better way to put it. Making the
it's
best of it.
It's definitely like working with what you have been dealt and trying to make, flowers out of it essentially, and use it in a good way as much as you can to kind of counteract some of the negative side effects you probably do get from it.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like I went to years of therapy. I did like an intensive outpatient group therapy program out in like Orland for like 2 or 3 months back in 2018. Helped kind of put a lot of things in perspective, getting like both a clinical opinion from professionals, but then also like real world experience from like what other people had also been going through that might also be living with bipolar or having other mental illnesses and whatnot, and just being able to support each other in that sense, to where like I can it's always great to have a professional help out and somebody that's like unbiased and will 100% be there to work with you and work through things with you. But then it's also awesome to have people with this like real world experience and see what does work for them, what doesn't work for them, like in their day-to-day lives and everything.
It seems like it's very valuable to have. And I feel like it's also something like one in the scene we talk about, but I don't feel like we are as open as it is. And in general, as a society, we have only just started to touch upon it. And to kind of hear how outspoken you have been and how candid with your journey has been as well, I think it has started to open up a little bit more of a dialogue with some people to become just slightly more comfortable. Especially because I feel that I've seen a lot of people say, I have anxiety, I have depression, where you very rarely hear people say, I have bipolar disorder and I have these manic episodes. Well, I personally have friends who have it as well, and I've experienced them in manic episodes, and I understand it, but it's not something that is outwardly spoken about still.
Yeah. And then a lot of people, might not know how to talk about those things, and excuse me, but the more you talk with them, the more you see them being talked about, like you're able to add that to your vocabulary, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, how to approach things, people to confide in and whatnot, and all that good stuff. It's not like, one pill, one visit or anything, it's going to take some time. Because if it was like, I'm not going to be sitting here with like a maraca, essentially, having like 30 pills with then another 60 for the next 2 months after that, It takes time. I didn't know how to talk about it at first. And I feel like anytime I tried to talk about it on stage, I was like, kind of fumbling over my words. Cause it's like, how do I even want to like approach the topic? It was just something like still uncharted territory for me. But the more I spoke about it, the more I talked to like fans after shows and stuff, the easier it got, because then I knew what was reaching people and what wasn't, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like, I think there's a lot of conversations happening in the scene and happening in music, especially, but I do feel like a lot of it is very like vague and surface level, where it's like, let's make sure people are conscious about their mental health, which is a very good step. But I'm also like, as somebody who's going to therapy, it's like, you know, I was like, yeah, we care about mental health. And then I'm like, okay, I've had like 8 beers tonight. Like maybe I want to like consider that like there's like practical things that I need to do, as well as be aware of mental health and be aware of mental health in our vicinity and in the people that I'm meeting and the people I know. More of that like practicality to me, I feel like has been something I've been thinking of, like, how do I get more practical with it? Like, if I'm talking to somebody and they're telling me, yeah, I've struggled with mental health, is it more of a question of like, so what have you been going through? What have you done? How have you been handling it? What has happened for you to work through these episodes? So for me, it's very interesting to hear how you are doing that, because it's like, yeah, it's more specific. It's how someone deals with it. And I also can take that in and say, oh, look, I can try that. Maybe that's something that could work for me to also feel better, or to work through it in the same way.
100%. Yeah. And everybody, you know, everybody's got different tools in their toolbox, you know, because something that's going to work for me it might not work for both of y'all, you know, because like people like valid things to have in the toolbox can be like drinking or smoking here and there, but it's something like, because I used to be a workplace mental health instructor. So it's like I would talk about a lot of these things over Zoom with people. Like it started through the pandemic. It would have eventually led me to actually being in their workplaces and stuff talking about this. But, you know, it's always, you know, you want to do everything in moderation, not necessarily just keeping it to like the drugs and alcohol, but you see like, you know, and the example I would use is like, oh, like one day I'm stressed out, like, you know, I got a parking ticket or something. I'd go to the cat cafe and I'd pet like one cat. Next day I get stressed for whatever reason. Then I'm petting 2 cats at the same time for like an hour instead of a half hour. Then the next day it's got to be 3 cats for 2 hours. And then it's just like, you see, like you gain this, like, if you're like getting a tolerance to something that's normally supposed to help you, then that's kind of a sign to seek some sort of outside help, whether it's talking to a friend or a family member, or, you know, finally making that visit to or making that appointment to go see a psychiatrist or a therapist or a social worker or whatever professional, a counselor, what have you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I found like the biggest hurdle usually is like, I don't even want to get that toolbox started. I don't want to put anything in that toolbox. I just want to like.
But you already do have stuff in that toolbox. You got ways to de-stress. Like it's not that nothing's in there. You just got to recognize what's already in there. Like what helps you de-stress, what helps you calm down. You know, what might be able to pull you out of anxiety or depression for even like a couple minutes, you know, take your mind off of stuff and be mindful, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. It's more the consciousness of it and saying, oh, I do have these things. Maybe, you know, I don't want to drink as many beers when I'm at a show, or maybe if I'm feeling anxious, I don't want to like, you know, go do whatever. It's like, I want just to find the right tools to use. And I think for me, I just like finally had to realize like, what is my fucking toolbox? Where is it? And I'm digging through the closet and I'm like, where's my screwdriver? Where's my hammer? Got to go work on the farm.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something as simple. And I feel like gaming for me has been like a big stress reliever, and like, you know, because it helps me, like using stuff like Discord and like getting a PC and stuff, and online gaming helps me stay in contact with people that like, that I met on tour that I don't get to see all the time. Like I'll see them in person like maybe 3 times a year if I'm lucky, 4 times a year if I'm lucky. But then I can be talking to them and in constant communication with them, you know, throughout the year and everything by hanging out, playing games. And sometimes I'm in Discord, not even gaming. Like some of my friends will be chilling, hanging, doing their thing, gaming together. And I'll just hop in for a chat or something, you know? There's all sorts of different ways, and especially through the pandemic, it's been awesome. You know,
it's been like this new way of like communication. And then the same thing with, you know, just using social media, like being on Twitter and connecting with so many people that we're just meeting for the first time in person. And it's like, wow, we really created this in like probably one of the worst times that we will probably ever experience in our lives. Who knows? There may be worse. I don't know.
Knock on wood.
Fingers crossed. But
I'm waiting for like, COVID-20.
COVID-20? Y'all, COVID-19 2 just dropped.
Yeah.
But it's things like that that one can be in the toolbox, and it can also just be a positive light to social media at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. There's the other side of the it makes you depressed and makes you angry and makes you scared and makes you all the above. And then there's also like being that we were stuck inside and being that like, you know, I felt like I couldn't really have that community that we normally feel at shows. And then like just finding people on Twitch that then joined Discord and joined us on the internet is like, damn, are y'all my friends? Are you my friends now?
Oh, hell yeah.
It's like, it's insane. I being a kid that grew up with like MSN and AOL and you're in like chat rooms and you're like talking to random people, I'm like, these are not my friends. These are not real people. These are all bots. Everything is fake.
It's stranger danger. We don't know who these people are.
Everyone is driving a white van right now. I'm not getting in that van. But now it's like, oh, like these are actually people that like. I
will hop in the van with my besties. From
these are some cool vans. I'm gonna get in that van. Go into the show.
No, yeah, definitely. And Twitch, I feel like, at least for me, has been a good way to flex that social muscle as well, especially like throughout the pandemic. Because it's like, you know, I'll stream a few times a week. I might leave the house, you know, once a week, if that, at least like earlier in the pandemic, to maybe go grocery shopping. That's like my partying for the week, is going to Target and, you know, just buying the essentials and being stressed about not being able to find toilet paper.
Dude, Target hit different for a while there.
Oh yeah.
Target hit real different.
Walking into Jules and just being like, yeah, this is it. This is my haven for like 30 minutes.
Yeah. You can actually see people out in the wild there.
Yeah.
About to go off in this Marianos. Buy me a cucumber, put it in some water when I get home.
Jesus Christ.
The joke comes back. The joke comes back.
See, I was never a big Marianos person. I always went to Jewel or Pete's Fresh Market.
Yeah. Okay.
And Jewel was actually my first job in high school that wasn't like that I was getting paid like legally.
I love that. We love under the table work.
Yeah.
When it's there, we love it.
I would wait tables at the Saber Room on like 95th near like Roberts Road. Right. And stuff. That was where I was getting paid on the table. But Jewel was my first legal operation.
Is it called over the table?
Sure.
I guess.
Yeah.
I've never heard the phrase over the table. I'm just
getting
like
checks, getting taxed, all that good stuff.
Yeah, perfect.
Getting the union taxes taken out, being like, yep, everybody, I am wholesome.
Yeah, Jewel is unionized. Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. There's a Marianos and a Jewel basically across the street from each other near me. And
you also have an Aldi that you don't go to.
Far.
You're
it's
missing
the other
out.
direction.
It is literally right down the street. It is right down the street.
But
Brian,
I'm already at the Marianos Jewel.
It is a 7-minute walk from your place.
I'm already at the Pizza Hut and Taco Bell.
I can't.
So
whoa, where are those at in the city?
Nowhere. That one's
guys, combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell.
That one's in Des Plaines down the street from the Gex tree.
Oh man.
So we were deciding, we were like doing a grocery run and we were deciding, and it was like, okay, I want to go to the Marianos because I'm like, the Marianos is like pretty nice. And then somebody else in the car was like, nah, everything I need is at Jewel. Let's just go over to Jewel. So I'm like, all right, I don't know if I'm going to like this experience, but I'll be open-minded. I'll be positive. I'll be ready to experience this Jewel. That was the worst fucking Jewel in the world. The worst fucking Jewel in the world.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. I've measured the consistency of jewels. I'm like a gem
connoisseur.
I was going to say Righteous Gemstones, but that's not the movie, the Adam Sandler movie.
Uncut Gems.
I'm like uncut gems over here.
Yeah.
I'm like Uncut Gems over here.
But listen, you have to remember that Jules also has that back all the way in the back clearance section on like food. And if you drink, they also have like the alcohol section. Like my mom has gone over there and been like, I got 4 packs of dented White Claw for like $4. I'm like, go off.
Oh, damn. Let's go.
When you said clearance food, my stomach turned.
What are you?
Oh,
well,
no.
Sometimes
This
they
is the
put
clearance
stuff on
food.
clearance if it gets discontinued too.
Oh yeah, or if it's just like
Sure.
not selling well. Like usually the Lisa one by me, it's big, like it's always like organic food that nobody wants to buy, and then it's like actually affordable.
I will say though, as somebody that used to work at one, they do throw out a ridiculous amount of food, which is a huge shame. When it's like, oh, if it's going to be expiring in like 2 days, like, you know, that's plenty of time to get it to like a shelter or something. They can make something out of it.
Yep.
You know, but
those dates are fake too. Those dates aren't real.
Yeah, the dates don't exist. That's why if they are clearance, the dates don't matter, Brian.
Time is a construct. Time is a fake construct. Again, the callbacks, they all come back by the end of the chat.
Yeah, so because you're on Twitch, you are somebody who has been super privileged, I assume, to be sponsored by various companies. How has that been to kind of integrate it into your streams and like just kind of streamlining it? I feel that there's a lot of people who say that they want to be content creators and they go for the sponsorships and then they say, I actually have no idea what's going on here. How do you get it? What is the way to formulate it? And there's actually a New York Times article that, you know, people wanted to start podcasting because they wanted the sponsorship, they wanted the ad, they wanted the money from it. But after only a month, they gave up because it wasn't immediate. So how has that been to kind of grow your own like content creation channel in that form?
First thing I want to say is that if that's the kind of stuff that people are doing things to get, then that's not a great seed to be planting to start with. Yes. I'll say.
My Red Bull fridge, man. Give me a Red Bull fridge. It would fit so good right back there.
But for me, like it's all about like, at least like with streaming and music stuff, it's very convenient because I can get a lot of gear that does everything, you know, like I have the interface that I have to work on music, but then also be able to connect my mic to and have, you know, better sounding audio for the stream. I have this mic that I use on stream, but I also use in all the RATIONALE recordings as well. And that was provided by Blue, who was the company I bought my first microphone from. And I met Joel from Blue at TwitchCon a couple years ago. And then I was looking through my business cards and I was just like, yo, I like this company. He was a cool dude. Like, let's see if this is still like his email address. This is still like correct info. Hit him up. And like, you know, it was really cool to get back in touch and then like get set up with like a microphone and some other gear, because they're with Logitech as well. You know, and with PCs, like I use a PC now. I was a Mac guy for a little bit. But then I love gaming, and Windows honestly can do all of that too. It can record music. I can demo on it. You know, I run all my, like whenever I do music streams, I'll live monitor everything through Reaper, you know, just instead of Logic. That's the only thing that sucks about recording on Windows, is that they don't have Logic. I love Logic. It's a great
good interface.
Yes, exactly.
Great DAW.
I love it. That's the one drawback I found, but it's just, for me, it's just finding the synergy and like all the things that I like to do with like the gaming, streaming, music stuff. But you know, if people want to dip their toes in that, you know, all you got to do is send an email, you know, with, like Real Friends and like just music stuff. Like we had a manager that would help kind of like facilitate all of that as well, you know, where we might be like, yo, because we'd gotten like Fender deals, for instance, because we really like Fender guitars. So then that's something where like, she's like, oh, I know somebody there. Let me set you up, see if it's a good fit and everything. And maybe we'll get you some deals or something. It's, you know, it's either you send the email or your manager sends the email or something, you know? Yeah. And I remember, for instance, like there's a pedal company, Walrus Audio, that I had asked our manager to reach out to. just because I really like their stuff. Knuckle Puck and Foxing had a couple pedals that they were like showing me that I was like, yo, I got to have something like this. And then she had reached out to them, and then they were like, we don't want to talk to you. We want to talk to him. Give him our email and then have him reach out and stuff. And I was just like, I am flattered. I'm flattered. They just want to go direct to the source. They want to know what's up with me and what my needs are. And like, because then it's just, you're kind of playing telephone at that point. So, I like a company that, wants to talk to artists and creators directly. And, just want to have that FaceTime and that like direct, more intimate interaction, It
feels like the situation has changed from like, oh wow, this company is giving you money, I can't believe you sold out like that, to now like, oh shit, like you got a sponsorship from them, that's fucking awesome, like congratulations. And it's like, wait, when did we decide that like it wasn't selling out? It never was, but why did we finally like learn that? Why did we finally like agree
gain
that
consciousness?
Like that people should be able to make money doing what they love for a living. Like,
yeah. Well, I feel like there's like a lot of different levels to like endorsements and sponsorships and stuff. Like sometimes it's like a code for a certain percentage off. Sometimes it's free product. Sometimes it is monetary compensation. Like if you're doing ads and stuff for people, there's a wide variety of possibilities with it,
Yeah. Just let the people make their bank. Okay.
Yep.
Let them get the bag. Don't hold them back. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we go, let's give you a second here to throw out all your plugs, where people can find you on the internet, where people can get the record, where people can watch you on Twitch, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Twitch account is twitch.tv/DonLumps. Twitter, Donnie Lumpkins. You can find Rationale on Twitter, Rationale Band. Our record, If the Problems Persist, it's everywhere streaming. If you want to purchase it, it's on Bandcamp. We'll be doing vinyl through Smart Punk earlier next year. It just sucks to not have it ready now because the plants are so backed up with everything, because we wanted to do tapes as well, and tapes are taking a minute too now. And but that'll be available earlier next year. And I think I plugged everything I needed to.
And you also have a show for everybody who's in the chat. Yeah. You also have a show this upcoming Friday. Tomorrow. Yeah. Literally tomorrow
at the Beat Kitchen.
Damn.
Belmont and Hoyne. I think that's the intersection it's at.
Sounds about right. I know it's down the street. It's past the Marianos and Jewel. Is it sold out? Is it already sold out? Or
no, I don't think so. It might be approaching, but I'm not the person that gets the ticket counts. I'm never, I'm hardly the business person. So
you show up and you say, "Look, there's people here." I love that.
Yeah,
thank you.
I'm just ready for a good time.
There we go.
It's been 5 years since we've played a show. So and we've only played one other show. So
this will be your second show.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some stuff scheduled like end of 2019, but Knuckle Puck's recording schedule for 2020 was like all over the place, and they ended up having to add like an extra like 2 weeks or something, where like that eliminated the possibility for us to like get any practice in. So but now pandemic got all the time in the world.
Dude,
let's
so much
go,
time.
guys.
We're getting all the attention now.
Yeah.
We're the favorite child during the pandemic.
Yeah.
We're the favorite child.
That's why we had you on the pod. You're our favorite child.
Ooh, hell
my God.
Well, then we will continue the conversation over on Twitch. So if you're listening to the pod, thank you. Go check out all of the links that'll be in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, hi YouTube. Go and check out all the links that are in the description. It's the same. They both have the down in the descriptions things. So
read the nice episode notes. I take time to craft those. Get everything that's in there. Take it in.
Let us know your favorite flavor Gatorade. Let us know what Gatorade would be made better by cucumbers.
None.
And
answer's none.
Absolutely none. Actually, can we eliminate cucumbers from the earth?
No, they're great. I will ask one final question before I just stop the recording abruptly. Okay. Who pooped in the turnstile pit?
Oh, God damn it. Are they talking about that again?
Yeah, we'll do that over on Twitch.
We've had so before you cut it off.
Okay.
There have been a few streams recently where we've talked at length about bodily functions and waste products, and I'll have no more of it.
It really sounded like this was like detective work to find out who the single individual was who pooped in the turnstile pit.
No.
I heard that person was wearing shorts. That's why it happened.
Yeah. It'd get stuck in your tight pants if you're wearing full pants.
Everyone's going to have to their venue's going to have to pull up the roster, who bought tickets, all their names, ask everybody who was wearing goddamn shorts in the goddamn turnstile pit, and then go from there.
We shouldn't do that.
Process of elimination.
All right, we will continue talking about whatever this is over on Twitch. Dan, thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.